Good evening, minions of the night. Welcome back to Dominion, part 3 of today's From Day 1 episode. Welcome back, Dominions of the night, to From Day 1, part 3. Let's take a look, of course, what we have in the old proverbial mailbag from the last time that we were together. Remember, just waiting around the bend, we have Art Bell Midnight in the Desert from July 29, 2015, with his guest Preston Dennett, UFO, paranormal, and out-of-body experience extraordinaire, being tonight's interviewee, part 2 from last night. That will be up momentarily once we do take care of just the basic paperwork of seeing what we need to do and what tasks we can collect. And again, we're going to try as best to have a full schedule tomorrow. I'm going to have to shuffle a lot, especially with the beginning of Winterfest kicking off in Dominion. We're going to try not to have it influence anything we do here. Of course, the new task that has opened up the second wind task, which of course has this with logins. Getting one more hero to Violet +1. And of course either spending or purchasing emeralds. So of course here in Titan Valley we do have one more day of login to get the prizes there of 1,000 essence coins and 5 big money black balls there. And over in the season of Astral, the quest that we still have is to make 10 purchases. That's in a 3-day affair, and 46. And again, we're going to need a miracle to pull that one off from the heroic chest without spending a bunch of emeralds. So we have our daily quest. Grab our Titanite ball, our pretty little energy. Do our glyph for 700. To forge we go. Alright, tonight, let's see. Yasmin, let's get you some critical hit. 220. There you go. That takes care of that task. 10, 12, 50. One more fight in arena, we'll pick that prize up. That'll be easy enough to do. We still have some work in the dungeon to rock and roll, some missions to grind out to get some prizes and items and get closer. Over on our taskbar now, we have the countdown for our main 4 heroes as to when they can go up, both 65 and 68 respectively. So with that being said, let's go back to Midnight in the Desert again from July 29th, 2015. Art's interviewing Preston Dennett, mostly on out-of-body experiences. Art, if you'd be so kind, take it away. Art?
Imagine this for a moment. You pop out of your body. You pop out on the other side, and there's the screaming lady and 100 of her clones.
To initiate a dialogue sequence with Art Bell, please coordinate your phalanges and call 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952. Call Art.
The screaming lady. All right, Preston Dennett is my guest, and we're talking about a lot of things. We're talking about OBEs mainly, and they are amazing, absolutely amazing. And I'm sure that all of you can also hear it in his voice. This is real if you've got the guts. And if you do, after hearing all of the, well, call it the downside or the possible dangers, that actually, you know, as a point here in the interview, well, it does say what are the dangers. You did say there are no dangers earlier, right?
Right. Well, depends what your definition of danger is. I don't think there's any danger of death or, like certain things that people really fear.
Well, okay, let's try and define danger. Danger might be hand grabbing ankle. That's not danger. Danger might be three murderers staring at you as you pop out. Definite danger. The hand grabbing ankle. Definite danger. Danger might be three murderers staring at you as you pop out. Definite danger. Danger might be the line breaks and you can't get back to your body, as in somebody died in their sleep. I mean, I can't get past that one, Preston. A lot of people die in their sleep, and how is it that we can know that they are not victims of a snapped cord?
Well, we can't.
See?
I don't know. Well, all I can tell you is that evidence of people who are doing this regularly are showing a lot of benefits. And the dangers of, getting possessed or getting locked out or all of this is way overblown. I'm not seeing it.
Well, I will give you this. It seems to me that that most people have a positive experience. I just always meditated on that. People do die in their sleep and know the cord never snaps. Well, not for those who live. Excuse me. So mostly it's a good deal, folks. Give it a try. And so now describe, if you would, Preston, how it actually is done. When you get to that magic little place and you feel yourself slipping towards sleep, and instead of sleeping, you want to leave your body, what's the key?
Right. Well, the way to slip to that magical place is you relax to the point where you start to feel one of several sensations. Well, this could be numbness, this could be lightness, or even a feeling of heaviness. You want to get to that place where you don't even know where your arms and legs are. You're lying there in bed like, where are my arms and legs? You want to get really relaxed and profoundly relaxed.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes 20 minutes. And if you start feeling this vibration, this is excellent news. And yes, it can get very loud. In fact, you can hear all kinds of noises, even swearing and growling, furniture moving, engine noises, people's voices.
You're hearing all this in this middle period?
This can happen. It doesn't happen to most people. Normally they just feel a vibration and hear a noise. And then you pop out, and it's very disorienting because you have not done this before, and it's difficult to see.
See, that's why I think a lot of people pop out and then pop back in immediately, because they had the you-know-what scared out of them.
That's what I did. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be fun. I'm going to do the exercises. And I did the exercises. I started to have lucid dreams. One day I popped out. I'm like, oh, this is not good news. I've just died. What have I done?
I bet a lot of people think that.
And I looked at my body. I'm like, well, this is awful. I'm like, oh, this is not good news. I've just died. What have I done?
I bet a lot of people think that.
And I looked at my body. I'm like, well, this is awful. I feel really bad. And I dived back into it, and I woke up instantly, and I thought, oh my God, I just did it. And I was super excited.
Without apparent danger in that. So you've done this so many times that you've had these very occasional, what would you say, 1% negative?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe even a little less. There was one time I did come up to this giant wall, and I couldn't break through it. And finally, I was able to break through it. So that was a little disconcerting, but I just broke through it.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to go through anything, sort of.
Yeah, this was a barrier between the dimensions.
Wow. All right, and you also say, or you pose a question about the deceased. You're suggesting that you can visit with those who have passed.
Right.
That says so much. I mean, if you can do that, then, my goodness, Preston, you really are in the place where the light is, in the place where you'll ultimately go. Otherwise, how can you see those who have passed?
Or I have to tell you, the first time I went doing this because I wanted to see my mother. The first time I actually went awake and did this and saw her was the most amazing reunion I have ever had with anybody. Now I've done this several times, and I've known a number of people who've died, and pretty much every time I'll go and visit them.
Wow.
But boy, with her.
So you met your mom.
Oh man, I was on my knees. She was so young. She looked so young. I couldn't believe it. I've lost most of my hair, but it all came flowing back. I have full hair back there. All my wrinkles disappear.
On the other side?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Sounds good right away. Get your hair back?
It's amazing. My mom looks amazing. I'm like, Mom! And, just the reunion was unbelievable.
So you recognized her as Mom, even though she was younger and more vibrant? Wow.
In fact, when you're out of body, sometimes there's these things called projections. You're making these things around you, your thoughts. And you're like, is this even a real person?
Okay,
you have to be a little bit careful.
There's a very good point. Do you think, Preston, it's possible that the living human mind is creating these, do you think, Preston, it's possible that the living human mind is creating these, what's the right word for it? Star Trek had a word for it, I think.
Materializations? Or
no. These worlds, I mean, I guess the question is it possible it's just your own human mind in some sort of mode to create a hologram?
Well, to a certain extent, yes, because the universe is composed of our thoughts. And that's what it comes down to.
I mean,
the physical world is actually a projection.
Right. You have thoughts of your mom, right? When she was young, or not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The proof that this isn't coming from a living mind, though, I think is pretty extensive. We have a lot of people visiting these locations on the other side, and they're describing the same type of thing. The people are getting information that they couldn't have gotten any other way, about the deceased and things like this.
Okay, that's an interesting question. And proof. In other words, how many times has somebody gone to the other side and come back with, some piece of information that amounts to proof because it could not have been known in any other way?
Yep, happened to me. Couldn't believe it. I popped out and I'm on the other side walking around, and I'm like, this is the bright place. This is where I usually go and to meet people who've died. It's very bright. And there was my friend Rex. I'm like, Rex? What in God's name are you doing here? He was alive. I'm like, what? He's looking great. Normally he's in pretty bad health. Hunched over, has stomach problems. But by no means, super severe to the point of, death or anything like this.
And you're saying he was at that time still among the living?
Well, I came back to my body. I'm like, oh my God, do I call him? I should call him.
Right.
He was actually my father's friend. I don't know him that well.
Right.
I'm like, well, I don't really know him. Well, he called, or his family called us. He had a stroke. And he was non-responsive. He was, in a coma there for a while. He eventually did recover.
Wow.
But, wow, he looked great there on the other side, I have to tell you.
How soon after you came back did he have that stroke?
He had already had the stroke.
Already?
Yeah, but I did not know it.
So he was sort of a little bit here and a little bit there, in a way.
I think that's what it was, absolutely. Yeah, it was the place where I always see these people who have passed on, usually. I had a friend who died of alcoholism. And a very close friend, by the way. It was tragic, and I'm like, well, I don't know how this is going to go,
right?
And I'm like, but I'm going to try. And about, a couple of weeks after he died, I gave him a little bit of time. I popped out, kind of happened naturally, and I found myself in this very dark place, one of the much lower realms, and he was not a happy man. He did not look well, and he told me, I'm not ready. He kept saying, I'm not ready. Could not do anything for him. So that was terrible. I came back not feeling well. I'm like, oh no, I can't tell anyone this family or anyone.
You should have said it's something to him about the clinic on the other side.
Right? Well, I prayed for him, is what I did, and I went back, I sent him, I guess, what you call love energy.
Okay, all of these experiences you've had on the other side, Preston, was there ever a sign of what, we all think of as God or a God?
Oh, yeah.
Oh?
Yeah. But I think the higher you go, it starts to permeate the atmosphere. It starts to glow and sparkle in a way that you're like, all right, this is like the source. And I went to the light. I'm like, all right, I want to try the light. I did that. I basked in it. I'm like, oh, this is lovely. I love. But it was kind of like a sauna. It's like beautiful, lots of love. It was great. But I didn't stay there.
Right. If you did, I doubt I'd be interviewing you right now. Preston Dennett is my guest. This, of course, is Midnight in the Desert. I'm Art Bell. Stay right where you are.
And we'll be back, of course, once the audio track is finished. Currently battling through Chapter 8 to the Soul of the Volcano, a boss mini mission. We hear round 1. Nice little light. Alrighty, on we move to the monolith of entities. I guess they're having a major commercial on the radio program. And again, as soon as that clears, we will be back to them. Off to round 2 we go. Alright, there we go. Put her in light mode for heal. Come on, I thought they were back. 3. Alright, sounds like they're coming back. We'll have them back here in just a second again. Preston Dennett. From July 29th, 2015, about out-of-body experience. From midnight in the desert. As we complete yet another category. We have a prize box. Let's see what's in it. And we get 10 Daredevil stones, 1 green, 5 blue prizes, and 45,000 cash. So to the Foundry we move, chapter with boss levels of 74.
In Canada only. Use Skype with a headset mic if on a computer and call NITD 55. That's NITD 55.
Okay, it's time for the talk. I'm going to open the lines because Preston Dennett is so fascinating. I know that some of you have questions. So here's the talk. The best way to reach us is Skype. It is the cleanest way, actually. If you can get a good Skype connection, and for example, on a smartphone, doesn't matter whether you've got an iPhone or whatever kind of smartphone you have. Android doesn't matter. Put Skype on it, and then get yourself ready. And the way you get ready is to dial
Faceless, how dare you
MITD 51. If you're in
my
North
character
America or Canada, MITD 51, midnight in the desert 51. And then it'll be in your list, and you can, even though I haven't, paired up with you, as it were, you can hit that any time and call. It's that easy, really is that easy, especially on a smartphone. Or, of course, a computer. And if you're on a computer, you need a headset. Now, if you're outside of North America, anywhere else in the world, worldwide, it's MITD 55. MITD 55. Then, one more thing. We've got a public number, a telephone number. You can call that and get on the air. But you've got to let it ring until it's answered. Please don't get discouraged. We're not screening calls. We'll just take them as we get them. But we won't put you on hold. So the public number you can call is area code 952-225-5278. Give that again. The public number is area code 952-225-5278. All that said, Preston, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, you can imagine a lot of people have questions about this kind of thing. So we're going to go to some of them if it's okay with you.
Oh yeah, bring them on.
Trust me, they'll come. Anne, hello there on Skype. You're on the air. Anne.
Oh, Ann, this is Dino.
Well, Dino, it says Anne there. A-N-N-E. What am I supposed to do?
I know, it must be my wife's name. How you doing, Art?
Just fine.
Yeah, hey, I'm calling from the Facebook group Talking Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell.
Really? Okay.
Shut up.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, interesting guest you got going here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting topic, and it's real. I've interviewed so many people about this, and they sort of say the same thing. Now, Preston gave me more of the possible negative side than others have. Other than that, though, the process, how it's done, all that seems the same. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried many years to get to that point. Still can't get there. I don't know if he has any any help for us who can't get to that point.
Right.
Because I've been trying. Can't get there, though.
Preston?
Right. Well, there are different ways to approach it. You can approach this during the day. There's a simple exercise you can do that has a really powerful effect. And that's to ask yourself if you are out of body right now. And I know how it sounds because you're not. But if you do this, as much as you possibly can, but at least a couple of times a day, preferably, every hour, you will do this at night. and you'll have the most profound experience because suddenly you're going to ask yourself this question, and you're going to find out that you are in fact out of body. But you have to do what's called reality testing. And to do reality testing, well, there's various ways, to find out if you're out of body or not. You can try throwing something. If it levitates, you're out of body. You can try pushing your finger through your desk or a wall.
That could be painful if it, if it failed.
Just lightly press, and it'll be astounding. You'll be at work there typing or whatever you do.
See, for example, right now. Ow.
Yeah, my finger ain't going through at all. No, but
yeah, but
I will
want you
keep
to do
trying.
this
That's
once,
for sure.
Whenever you think of it, a couple times a day, and you'll do this at night, and your finger's gonna go through that desk, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, I'm out of body."
I would be
already out of body.
All right. So during the day, enlighten me. I get the between consciousness and sleep part, but during the day, how do you do this?
Well, this is something you want to do all day long. When you wake up, during breakfast, at work, when you come home, ask yourself, am I dreaming right now? Could this possibly be a dream? Could I be out of body? And you look around. If you see any anomalies, this is what's called a cue, and pretty much every dream will have one. Something that's not quite matching up with reality.
All right.
As you know it.
Uh,
This is how you get lucid.
Yeah, I will try this out. I hope I don't hurt my finger. But I love the show, Art. Love the show. Love that you're back. And Dino giving you a shout out there. Love you.
I love being here. Thank you very much. And we've got an international caller, I believe, on the line. Hello? Hello there. Are you there? Going once. Come on, I know you're there. Brandon. Is that right? Brandon, are you there? No, I guess Brandon's not going to say anything. Okay, no problem. We can move on, and we've got a million calls here, so not sure where to go. Let's go to the phones and say hello there. You are on Midnight. Hello.
Yeah, Art?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. This is Gary out in Phoenix, and some Roswells over there
Thank you.
for you. Yeah, this is one of my favorite subjects. I was back in. I've had like 4 out-of-body experiences. The first one was back in 1996 or 97, and I was having that sleep paralysis thing with the vibration, and I was always be terrified. It happened periodically throughout my life, and then I actually heard your program, and I forget who you had on there, but he was saying about directing your energy
Yes.
away from your body.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I did it, and
It
it
worked.
wasn't very successful, but I ended up right by the doorknob. It was like I was trying to go out the front door, but I was hovering right above the doorknob, and then another time I got freaked out. I got out of my body and I went down to the ground, and so I was looking up and I could see my hand off the edge of my bed, and it freaked me out. I just popped back in my body, but
Right. See, anything that freaks you out, I guess, brings you back, according to Preston.
Right.
yeah.
Right, that's absolutely what happens. Yeah, there's all different kinds of ways of getting out of your body. The best way is to do visualizations of some kind. And usually something involving movement, like being on a swing set, maybe, or the bow of a boat, going up and down, or pretending that you're running down a pathway. There's various things like this, spinning in a circle. All of these will spin you right out of your body. And it's a very easy way to do it.
Okay, those are actually pretty good tips. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And here is Triana, I think. You never know whose name is on the Skype. It could be somebody else. But it says Triana. Hello.
Hi, Art. This is Trina in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Trina, okay. You're really loud, Trina, so just back away a little bit.
Okay, is that better?
It is so much better, yes.
That's great. Roswell's.
Thank you.
I just wanted to call in and make a comment. I got a little bit spooked a few minutes ago. Your guest was talking about something reaching out and grabbing
Grabbing
his
your
leg.
hand. I knew it. See, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to wonder if your guest was there in my experience, because I experienced that exact same thing.
Oh, Preston, did you grab her ankle?
The funny thing about it is, I was in a room where there were lots of like little baby gray hands.
Ooh.
That covered the room. The entire room was covered with these little hands. But one huge gray hand came out from the middle and grabbed my leg. But I was paralyzed,
Yeah.
so I couldn't get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the scariest thing I have ever experienced in my life.
Did it snap you back to your body?
It did. It did. I did wake up, but I could still feel the hand on my leg.
Well,
that was the part about it.
Preston, something like that could scare you so much that you would never, ever try it again. Yes?
Yeah, that's true. I think, but if you read the books about it, you'll see that there's some amazing things that this can do for you, and there are ways to protect yourself. You can do white light meditations, and as you get good at this sort of thing is not a problem at all. You automatically pop out into very high realms.
Gray hands, giant gray hands, they're a problem for me, and obviously for Deanna. Are you, Deanna, are you going to try it again, huh? Or are you finished?
No. Well, see, actually, I didn't try it the first time. It just happened to me.
Oh.
I just went to that weird place, and it was like, I don't know, it wasn't a dream. It was that state that you talk about where you're in between being asleep and being awake. I wasn't trying to do it. It just happened. But I would certainly never try it now that has happened to me.
So even after all the encouraging things, the very encouraging things that Preston has said about this, it's a big no.
As of right now, it is a big no. If I were to have a positive experience without trying it, then I may go forward with trying it more often in the future. But after this, I would never just go for it and try it.
I get it.
I would love to have the experiences that some of these other people have had, where you go and you see friends and family and loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
But after this, I just don't know if I could go there.
Okay. I so get it, Anna. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much for taking my call, Art.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Really glad that you're back.
Do it again. Call again. Thank you. So, Preston, there you go. She got scared so profoundly.
Yeah, well, the thing is, this is something that I would encourage everyone to do, because sooner or later we are going to die. And it gives us
this is like
leg up.
Yeah, but this is like practice.
It absolutely is. And, you can grow spiritually leaps and bounds by doing this kind of stuff.
Not to mention the clinic.
And here's another thing that we haven't even talked about. This wakens up your psychic abilities so profoundly that, I was coming home with dreams that were coming true on a pretty much daily basis, and it translated into waking clairvoyance, and I've had so many, really profound psychic experiences as a result of doing this.
Well, okay, those are encouraging words. Here's somebody called Tristme21. Are you there?
Hi there, Art.
I get to see your picture,
Yeah, it's a little offensive. Sorry about that.
Well, yeah, it's two fingers,
Up in the air.
both trying to send me a message there. I almost didn't answer you because of that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's an old picture.
You might want to modify that. Not a lot of people would answer that, but,
Well, yeah.
I go on stream, so what the heck.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I've had something happen. It was when I was younger. I actually fell off a cliff and landed on my back, and I couldn't stand up. I couldn't move. It was like paralyzed.
Wow.
And it seemed like an out-of-body kind of experience. It was really surreal. Things were quite odd.
Do you think you were conscious the whole time, or not?
I don't know. It was just really bizarre. don't know how to explain it. Never felt anything like that in my life before, though. And I couldn't move, and then all of a sudden, after that, I got up and I could walk again. I'm like, I thought I was paralyzed, though.
How far did you fall?
About 15 feet.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have been out cold for sure, and maybe you were. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I landed right on a rock on my spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you went to the clinic.
I didn't go anywhere.
Well, I know, but I mean, you were
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
You said you got up and could walk.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like how that happened. I thought I was paralyzed.
Usually, you fall 15 feet onto a rock.
Mm-hmm.
No walking. No walking. You don't walk at all,
Right.
so...
Well, what's interesting about that is that's getting the wind knocked out of you to the point where it's actually knocking you right out of your body, partially. And this is actually pretty commonly reported in falls.
Really?
People will find themselves standing next to their body for a brief second and then slip back in or feel kind of dissociated. They might see glows and just have difficulty, just like you're describing, actually. Exactly what's different.
Do you see any kind of light or darkness or anything weird?
Things seemed kind of lighter. It was a long time ago, but yeah.
Still amazing.
Yeah, I just can't even really describe it.
All right, well, close enough. 15 feet onto a rock. My God.
Yeah.
Change the picture, trust me.
Well, I'm lucky. Yeah, I can walk.
Right. Like I said, change the picture.
Yes, I will. I'll call you again soon. And
Please do,
I'll have
yes.
a different one. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll have a nice one.
Something nice, yes, that'd be nice. Most people, believe me, would not have answered that in a million years. Let's go to the phone. So many people. Spokane, Washington, you're on the air. Good evening. Preston is listening.
How you doing, Art?
Okay, sir.
Goodness gracious, I'm here. Hey, I was just going to say I've had several experiences out of body, and I've been doing it quite a few times, and then all of a sudden I hit this wall, literally, and wasn't unable to do it again. It always seemed like this my escape.
You mean, okay, we don't have a great connection. You're saying you hit a wall, literally.
Literally. There was this house. I'd always go to this house when there was trouble, when I was protecting myself, to access my way back into my body. And I would always end up crawling through this or that way, and I would open the door and go through. Well, I opened the door, and it's bricked up, and I have never been able to do it again since.
Okay, well, you know, Preston says that you can go through walls, right?
Yeah, well, this is, I was literally like bang, done, bounced back, and never been able to do it again.
Huh.
There's nothing about that.
So you're done with it, huh?
I've tried. I can't do it.
Okay, well, maybe it's well that you can't, because you can't go through walls. Any advice on going through walls, Preston?
Yeah, well, I know what he's saying. You know, I've actually reached this at a point, you know, I was unable to do it for a year. I'm like, well, is this ability gone for me? Because there's a couple of cases out there where people did it for a while and then, boom, they couldn't do it. And they had like one last visitation with a spirit who said, you know, you're done because you've learned all you need to learn, or you're not at that level, or various messages like this.
So he needs to try the wall again.
Yeah, I think that if you continue to do various exercises, read the literature, try the different ways of doing it, it will come back to you. Absolutely.
Okay. Caller, are you still there?
Yes.
Good. Okay. We'll try. So can you try the wall again and let us know?
I will do that.
Walk, don't run. That would be the only advice I could give. Walk, don't run. It's going to hurt. But on the other hand, maybe that would show your determination. You just go way back and take a big run at the wall.
Yeah, I've done it and I bounced right off.
Oh.
I did. But, you know, I didn't hurt myself, but I sure felt it.
God, if this was a travel agency, you'd be so broke.
And there was another time I was like out on my balcony, and I'm standing on the rail. I'm thinking, you know, I wonder if I'm actually out of body. And I'm like, God, you know, if I fall, this could be terrible. I'm like, no, I'm actually out of body. I know I must be because I wouldn't be
and so,
standing on the rail.
Let me guess, you jumped.
So I jumped and I fell all the way down 3 stories.
And lived to be on a radio program and tell about it, right? All right, Preston. Old school. This is Midnight in the Desert. I'm Martel.
Alright, we're going to put a pause on the interview at that point. Just because I need to basically do a little quick check to see what we still have to do. Because right now we really can't punch on any of the Guild War positions. Titan Valley doesn't open up for another couple hours. We don't have 10 money balls there. Do we have enough to take that last Titan out? Yeah, we do. Alright, Ignis, join the land of the ups. Alright, everyone else is 18. If we have enough, we'll do one level of each of these guys. 17 to 18, 17 to 18, 17 to 18. Take the main 5. You can go to 30. Eden, can we get you to 30? Okay, we can. Moloch, 23 is going to be it, okay. I should have done it then for Sigurd instead. But too late now. Let's go back to the guild because it'll show me the new score with the changes. 26-9. Still not enough to punch through the wall of that bridge. It's basically considered a bridge troll defense. That bridge has to go down to unlock that middle tier of attacks. And yeah, with 12 left, we'll try to do the round. While we do that, we'll go back to Midnight in the Desert when the music completes. Probably for one more round of phone calls. To get that taken care of. Just waiting for them to return. Should be back here momentarily. You're gonna hit the flanges, so to speak.
By those that understand how to move in the darkness, like Art Bell. To call the show, please dial 1-952-CALL ART. That's 1-952-225.
And we're back with the show.
You know, I really wish that was true. That I know how to move in the darkness. I know how to do talk radio in the darkness. But when it comes to astral travel or out-of-body experiences, not so much. I've had one that just was wonderful and scared me really seriously on the other side, and none since. And I think it's the fear. I do believe that it's the fear. And Preston may have helped you tonight, but on the other hand, he may not have. Some scary stuff, actually. Preston, you're back, and I think somebody's with you on the international line named Luke. Luke, are you there?
That's right. I am actually, yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're there, Luke. Where are you, by the way?
I'm from Australia. I'm actually about 100 k's away from Melbourne in Geelong.
Down under.
Yeah, I've been listening to you for many years now, and this is actually the first time I've been able to listen to you live, and it's just incredible. I thought, what the heck? I'll try and see if I can call up and. You know?
Yeah, it's live. That's right. It's live worldwide, and it's just that Australia and, you know, the Southeast Asian areas are all sort of at a good time for the show. And a lot of people, I think, don't realize it is live, but it is right now.
That's fantastic. Would I be able to shout out my father? He's turning 70 today. So I'm going to take him out a little bit later tonight. But
well, that's really a big birthday. I know. I just had one.
Yeah. I wanted to call up. I don't know that I have a similar sort of experience as the other listeners.
Maybe you've got but maybe you've got a question about it.
Oh, sort of. I had an experience that was more like going into myself. I was sort of lying down one night. I was quite relaxed. I had a hard day at work, and I just found myself sort of relaxing more so, and sort of found myself in this dark space. It was almost like I changed some sort of consciousness, and I actually saw myself sort of out of body as a young child. But I was working through a lot of things at the time. I had a lot of things that happened.
So wait a minute. Let me get it straight. You exited your body, and you were your young self.
Yeah, it was just so bizarre. It was like I was young again. I was seeing myself as a 10-year-old. Wow. I mean, I'm 26 now. This probably happened maybe 8 or 9 months ago, but it was so bizarre, and I actually felt young again. I sort of felt my mind slow down to how it had when I was, you know, that age. I was thinking about things that I hadn't thought about for many, many years.
Wow.
It was just insane.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I mean, to actually feel young and to understand that feeling is pretty amazing. Preston?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Luke. What's really interesting is when you go out of body, time collapses to a certain extent. In fact, the farther you go, you can effectively travel in time. And sometimes when you pop out of body, you go to the past. You can go to your childhood or connect with that, or even the future for that matter. So, yeah, I get what you're talking about.
I think it's so cool. I mean, just to feel that young again, to remember what it felt like. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, I suppose that was something I've been sort of processing, I guess, a little bit as well, and maybe subconsciously it came on. I'm not really sure. It was just really bizarre. I've had a few other times when I've sort of felt myself going back into that sort of place, but the age difference wasn't there. But it always seems like I'm going in on myself, not traveling out elsewhere. I unfortunately didn't catch the first half of the program, but it sort of sounded like you were talking a lot about almost like astral travel.
Yes.
Is that
Trust me on this. It's worth joining, becoming a time traveler, and downloading it. It's really a fascinating program all the way around. And what you just said is fascinating, too. And especially calling all the way from Australia. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you so much, Art.
All right. Take care. That's really neat. I mean, can you remember what you felt like at 10?
Well, not as well as I would like, but you can connect with it through the out-of-body thing for sure.
Yeah, to have that fresh again would be awesome.
Yeah, you know what's amazing? Because on the other side, you can travel in an instant. There's no such thing as rate or distance, really. So if you take that equation, that we have rate times time equals distance, it collapses time. So this is kind of why we have precognition when we come back from these experiences. Or you can travel to the past and see this thinking of the Titanic or what have you.
Okay, Preston, I had one precognitive experience, but I don't think it had anything to do with astral travel or being out of my body. On the other hand, what do I know? Maybe it did. But I remember being awake, moving from place to place when I had this experience. So no, I think I was awake. I don't think I was astrally traveling. But Your point is good. Test it, is what you say, right?
Right. Well, what I'm saying is if you do this astral travel, be prepared to have a lot of psychic experiences because it activates, I guess you would call them your chakras.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you'll feel it. I mean, you will physically feel this stuff when you have, premonition, for example. I mean, I had a really powerful one. I had this vision. I was going to the ATM to get some money,
Yes.
and I had this vision that there was this gangster-looking guy there, dressed in leather, whipping his hair around. I'm like, God, that's weird.
Yes, it is.
And drive up, it's still a mile away. Got there, and there he was. Got chills down my spine, just like I saw. I'm like, I'm not going near that thing.
Okay, so in other words, it was a precognitive warning.
Exactly. I've had a number of those. And you start to learn stuff about people that, you can, to a certain extent, read people a lot better than you normally could.
Wow. All right, Wallaceburg, it's midnight, you're on the air. Hello. Wherever Wallaceburg is on the phone. Hello?
Oh, yes. Hello, Art. How are you doing? It's an honor to be part of your show. I have a question for your guest there. I guess I've lucid dreamed lately, but this one time, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Relax. Just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
You're just talking.
Sure. This one time I awoke, and I was laying in bed, and I saw the back of my body leaving the bedroom, or getting out of bed, and walking towards the bedroom door.
Wow.
And I thought it was so odd, obviously, to see myself walking away. So it's like a reverse of the body or something. So I was wondering if he has ever experienced anything like that, or what it would mean, if it has any meaning.
That is so opposite. Preston, he sees himself walking away. How could that be?
Yeah, that has happened to me. Not quite exactly that way, but that's called bilocation. And what's happening is you're conscious in either your body or your astral body. And if you're good at it, you can do both. There was one time where I was out there flying, I don't know where in God's name I was, but far away. And at the same time, I started becoming aware of my bedroom. And mind you, I'm lying there with my eyes closed. And I'm like, I think I'm awake. So I opened one eye, and I'm like, yep, I'm awake. At the same time, I'm out there astral traveling. And so, to a certain extent, this is called bilocation. People are able to do it to the extent, that they can sit down and be physically in another place.
So this caller could probably switch positions. If he was really good at it, he could jump to the astral body that was leaving and be in that one.
Right. That's what I would recommend. Concentrate on that one and see if you can transfer your awareness to it. You should be able to.
What do you think? What do you think? You want to give it a try?
Well, it just happened, I never meant for it to happen or anything. So, and this is probably a couple of years ago now. So, sure, if it ever happens again, I would perhaps try that. But yeah.
All right. Well, good luck with it, and I hope it works. Whew. This is a lot to take in. It really is. Let's go to Nick on Skype. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, sure. Just fine.
Hey, Art, long-time listener. I'm glad you're back. Real quick, I just had a question for Mr. Preston. Has he ever confused, or I don't know how to put it another way, out-of-body experiences with lucid dreaming? Because I know that as a kid, I used to practice lucid dreaming a lot. Went on message boards reading about lucid dreaming, and I feel like a lot of what he's saying reminds me
of lucid dreaming. That makes sense. Preston?
Right. Well, most people who look into this agree that they're connected. There's no doubt. I think personally that a lucid dream is when you're projecting the reality around you. But the problem is you can be out of body in one of the higher dimensions and be doing this. So the definitions blur. It's hard to say where the line is between the two, but you can project out of a lucid dream into the physical world.
Well, because
so you know.
I have felt the whole out of body experience thing. One time I was asleep on a couch and I was in a strange place, and all of a sudden I was half awake, half asleep, and I felt like there was someone sitting on my chest. A scary voice kind of came into my head, and I sort of saw myself in the room, but that only happened one time. But I've had lucid dreamings happen. I've had lucid dreams a lot more than that, and I felt like there was a distinct difference between those two things. You don't think there's a distinct, difference between the two?
Well, there's sort of gradations, I would say. It's very hard to divide them apart because some people feel that the lucid dream is superior to the normal out-of-body experience. I think they're separate. There are certain levels to dreaming. In the very beginning, you have dreams which are just the things you did throughout the day, the movies you saw. Then you move up to a psychological level of dreaming where you're dealing with your fears and desires. And then you bring in lucid dreaming, and you can deal with those in a conscious way. But at some point, you don't dream like a normal person. You're awake all night and never actually fall asleep. And you understand the difference between a mental projection in front of you, depending on where you are. I mean, if you're in the physical world, or if, on the other side where you're manipulating things, or you're in a consensus reality, like, the heavenly realms, where everyone agrees this is, the way it is.
Okay.
It's hard to describe.
Sure it is. All of this is hard for words. Caller, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I'd just like to give a quick shout out to Richard Hoagland. Looking forward to his show after this. I'm really enjoying it. And just remember to think of the suicides.
Coming up at midnight. All right. So sometimes I get into this state, Preston, where I think that I have not slept all night. And frankly, I haven't slept all night. But I have been in that little tiny gray area we were talking about, in and out of it, so much that I lose track of reality. That's the only way to put it. And I might have a dream that appears to be, or seems to be so real and so quick, and I'm just like in and out of this, if I can't sleep. Most of our dreams occur, I'm told, in that area between sleep and wakefulness. Is that true?
Right, the REM state. Right. Absolutely.
Right.
But like I said, we all go out of body every night. And the truth is, we're not unconscious. We're conscious on the other side. We're talking to our relatives. We're having experiences. We're planning out our days.
Right.
And then we catch snippets of this as we go down in a gradation to the physical world. There's been times when I've been so far up there that I had to stop at each level and write this down in a dream diary, take that one down a level, write that down, and so on until I'm finally like, am I really awake now?
Uh-huh. So I guess it's pretty common stuff. Boy, we have got to take a break, so we're going to do that. With Preston Dennett as a guest, we indeed are raging through the night. From the high deserts in the great American Southwest, it just keeps getting better and better.
And that is where we will leave tonight's Midnight in the Desert interview with Coast to Coast, the successor to Coast AM, Midnight in the Desert. Alright, I'm going to find something that has needles. There we go. Burn off the rest of the energy here quickly. Oh, they actually have a boss battle, so we'll do those. Alright, 25 we can get about 4 more. 3 more actually. Here's our 10th. Now we're getting the other ones that we need too, so that's actually good. Okay. So we will leave this server, where we're at, let's just make sure there isn't anything else that needs to be claimed. There is something being flagged on second wind. The 20 more Yasmins for the team of semi-equals. Let's see what that has actually done. 23 more, and she is Ultimate Star. Once you do go Ultimate Star, anything extra would actually be able to turn into the Soul Store, which, as you can see, we currently at the moment do not have on this list, but it would appear once you do have the ability to do so. Tomorrow, we would go ahead and get 4 more, so that would get us down to 19, 13. So it looks like on day 5, provided there isn't any other. No, there isn't. So day 5 of second wind minus anything that might happen from upcoming Winterfest will get us an absolute star Yasmin. Now, one last bonus I'm going to leave everybody with. Give me just 1 second. We're going to switch over to the Valkyrie server in Iron Depths. Providing it doesn't give us any serious fight to do so. If it does, then unfortunately we won't. But if it doesn't fight, we will. As long as we don't have a serious fight to do so, we will switch over there. And I'll do my guild fights. Guild war fights. There for you. Here. And that will round out our part 3 for today. So just 1 second here while the Ascend to Asgard loads. And this will probably be the last day you will see this particular wallpaper on the load-in, because you would assume that they would have either an Amira wallpaper or a Winterfest wallpaper when that event goes live tomorrow at the next year's time, which would basically be 9 p.m. East Coast time in the US, 2 a.m. UTC. And 96 just about there. Take it back full screen. I said full screen. Okay. See if there's any callouts from our general. Alright, target set, okay. Alrighty, up we go. Just 1 quick second while we fly up into the air. And over to the Guild War. Looks like I've already been assigned, hence the red dot. Today's battles are against Planet Earth. Interesting name for a guild. Minimum team of 50 to join. If we take a look at the current league rankings, we are number 1 at 3,500. Just 40 hints of income. Then 20 back to Cast Glide and Energy, bringing up the top 4. This group we're up against today, as we go down, still going. They're going to be down there somewhere, you think. Where are they? Poland yesterday, 24th. Planet Earth, they're 29th. Way down in the gutter. Okay. Alright, both of mine are on the Bastion of Ice. Oh. I should pull half of my Titans back just to make it fair. 212 versus 40. But we'll knock it down and that'll open up the Citadel. So battle 1 against Dakora. That guy lasted long. So did that one. I got a heal. That's it. Well, let's pick up the 20 plus 40 bonus. That'll get us 80 points for our 2 attacks. And also, more importantly, open up the Citadel for members of the guild. Against a weird team named 1170892. Seriously, folks, come on, name yourselves. It's not hard to come up with a name. And remember, you are not locked into the name. You can change it. Alright, so Krakens are now 440 playing 0. Very nicely done. Remember again, Winterfest is coming. Starts again just tomorrow. Be ready for that. And until then, for everyone here on the Krakens, and of course back over on From Day One, release the Krakens. Like, share, and subscribe. Get us to those goals of 5,000 views, so next year's will take a look at us. 1,000 subscribers, so YouTube will take a look at us. And again, if you want to go ahead and get some free items, coinbase.com/join/theparsley to get $10 in free Bitcoin to make purchases here on Hero Wars, and to take those 2-minute lessons, and sometimes they're not even 2 minutes. One question right afterwards, get some free crypto, immediately turn it into Doge, Litecoin, or Bitcoin, and come back here and you can get another item from your Hero Wars account. And one last time, remember again, release the Krakens, and we will see you tomorrow for Winterfest.